Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Nerds at the Square Table podcast. I'm Aslan, your host, and
I am Dylan. I am the co-host, and welcome to the season 5 premiere of the Nerds at the Square Table. And for YouTube viewers, welcome to the first episode of the Nerds at the Square Table.
Yep, we're officially starting to have us on YouTube now as well.
We have moved into an apartment. We have a makeshift set for a few months. It'll upgrade eventually. But right now, we have a little background about us. We have some Lego behind us, whether it's Marvel, Star Wars. You got nothing behind me. I'm a boring piece of garbage. So, but, like I said, we're going to upgrade later on in the months. But as of right now, this is our makeshift set with the square table in question.
Yes. So we actually have a square table now.
We do actually have a square table. And, that's good to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody welcome. We are going to start out the season 5 premiere about what we usually do every season premiere. And Aslan, what is that?
So this season premiere is going to be our most anticipated movies of 2025. So I did have my top 10 of 2024 ready, but Dylan had not seen enough movies to actually participate in that episode.
Yeah, it was a busy year for me. I probably did see 10 movies in the theater, but not enough to make myself a whole honorable, dishonorable mention list. Probably a top 10. But I do know for a fact what my favorite film of 2024 was.
All right, now what was it?
My favorite film of 2024 was Challengers. Challengers is the Zendaya tennis sports drama starring Zendaya, Mike Feist, and Josh O'Connor. It was fantastic, a very dramatic and emotional, romantic sports film, sports drama. I could see Zendaya getting an Oscar nomination for this film. I just want the film to get some sort of Oscar nomination because it very well deserves it. The sound design was incredible. The cinematography was incredible. And Zendaya, I could see her getting a Best Lead Actress nomination. And that's just me. But yeah, Challengers was amazing. A little weird at first, but it got a lot better later on. And yeah, I very much enjoyed myself.
All right. And mine was Dune Part 2. So
solid.
Basically, you take Dune, you make it less boring, and you add a couple action scenes, and heck, you have a good sci-fi movie.
You really do. And I will be the minority of the group and say that I did fall asleep in a couple scenes, even though I saw it in IMAX. Go ahead, hate on me in the comments. That's fine. But, I think I would have been more intrigued. I think I would have been more invested in the Dune films if I knew more of the lore. Mm-hmm. If I read the book or anything like that. I tried rewatching the first one just to kind of get a little bit more of the lore in my head, and I still fell asleep during the first one. But
the first one is so boring.
I have no doubt in my mind both films are shot beautifully. They look gorgeous. I think Denis Villeneuve is an amazing director, and those films have a great cast.
Agreed.
So when Dune Messiah comes out, I will still go give it a shot. So that's it.
All right. So if you're listening in or watching us today, make sure you have a drink of choice with you. Today, we're going to be drinking Hemingway Rye Whiskey.
Yes, very good whiskey. Every episode of this season, we will have at least something different to drink, whether it be whiskey, whether it be a cocktail, whatever we want to feel about drinking. We're just going to sit back, relax, and talk some good old nerd shit. You know what I mean?
Yep, for sure.
But yes. So we are having some Hemingway Rye Whiskey, which is a very good whiskey.
Which, if you are 21 or over and you want to go and grab some from your local liquor store, go do it. It's awesome.
We're not sponsored, by the way.
Non-sponsored. All right.
Aslan does know a insider, though. So
well, not like no, but I did a gig for his Halloween party. I play music, and so I went and I played at his Halloween party, and that was kind of fun. And he gave me free whiskey, so I was real happy about it.
Can't say no to that.
Yep.
Obviously.
Yep.
Alrighty, so
Honorable mentions.
Yeah, shall we start usual and just do our honorable mentions? We're just going to quickly list them off
Yeah.
and then get to the big top 10.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Just list them off quick.
Just list them off quick. All right, cool. So, who wants to go first? Me?
You.
Okay, cool. So, I'm going to take actually, no. I'm not going to take a drink yet because there is a movie on here that I have in parentheses labeled drunk, because I will most likely pregame before going to this film, maybe have a couple of drinks while watching the film, and you'll know exactly why I put that there when I reveal what that movie is.
Yeah.
So, my first honorable mention is a movie called Flight Risk. It's Mel Gibson's new movie with Mark Wahlberg and Topher Grace. Then I have The Monkey. The Monkey is a horror film directed by Osgood Perkins, who did Longlegs. And James Wan is also a part of the production. So this could be pretty hit or miss. And now I come to the movie where I label myself drunk. Okay? So I'm going to take a sip. So, a Minecraft movie. All right? A Minecraft movie.
Oh, which, by the way, that movie, it's going to be real bad.
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind.
It's going to be real bad. So bad that I am going to go and I'm going to take a
Okay, now that he has done that, I'm going to go back to talking about a Minecraft movie, because apparently Aslan thinks it's going to be so bad that he just had to do that. So,
Oh no, it's going to be really bad.
Mm-hmm.
The latest trailer was better.
It was. The two trailers that came out was better. The first one was not great. The second one intrigued me just a tiny bit. Ah, boy. Okay, so my next movie is a film called Drop. This is basically just, a woman gets invited to a dinner. Then she keeps getting really killer, vulgar messages on her phone saying like she might die or whatever. And the suspect might be in that same room at that same dinner. So, sounds a little interesting. Next one is a video game adaptation, Until Dawn. Until Dawn, directed by David F. Sandberg, who did Lights Out, which was a great horror film. Also did both the Shazam movies. First one being good. Second one.
It wasn't.
It wasn't that bad, but it was okay. That's all I'll say. It was okay. Then I have the concluding film to the Mission Impossible story, which is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. So, got to see Tom Cruise close it out, man. Just got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Next one, it's a Disney film. I will say live-action Disney films have their hit or misses, but just from seeing the images and teaser trailer for this one, I'll give it a shot. That's Lilo and Stitch. I grew up with that, and Stitch does not look bad at all.
No, he doesn't.
So,
he actually looks very good.
Question is, will the movie be good or bad?
That is the question.
We'll find out. Next, I have the ultimate reunion for the Karate Kid franchise, which is Karate Kid Legends. You have some returning actors in this film. You have Ralph Macchio. You have Jackie Chan coming back. I mean, who wouldn't want to see this? If you're a fan of the Karate Kid films, this is going to be a Christmas present to you.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have another live-action adaptation, but from an animated film, and that is How to Train Your Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon, the beloved film trilogy. Did not see the show, so I can't say anything about that.
Yeah, I can't say anything about the show either.
But the films were good. I will say the films were very, very good. One of the most epic DreamWorks tales that I've seen since all the Shrek movies. Well, no, Kung Fu Panda's up there too. Kung Fu Panda was pretty good too.
Kung Fu Panda was pretty good.
Then I have Megan 2.0. I surprisingly enjoyed the first Megan, weirdly enough. I thought it was going to be another one of those slapstick horror films that, studio's just not going to give a shit and whatnot. I was very, very shocked. So 2.0, Megan, let's go, okay? I'll come see it. Then I have Jurassic World Rebirth. We are still not ending this Jurassic Park franchise, are we?
Nope.
But, the movie has Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali in it. That alone will make me go see this film because they are both tremendous actors. And then I have Nobody 2. So the first Nobody, I will admit, have not seen. But I've heard it is super badass and a great Bob Odenkirk action film. So I will watch that before I go see this, for sure. My next two are horror films. Now, if you know me on this series, I'm a bit more of a horror fan than Aslan is, but it also all depends on what the situation is
I
at
would
hand.
say you're much more of a modern horror fan. I'm much more of a classic fan.
Fair, yeah, I do like myself some classic horror movies as well. I still think Scream is one of my all-time favorite
Agreed.
horror movie.
I love Scream.
And there's the ones they're still making today are still great.
Yep.
So keep it going. But anyway, apparently there is going to be another Insidious film coming out this year. It's untitled, so who knows if it's even going to come out. Could be delayed, could be canceled. I don't know. This is just what I have slated from what I saw online.
That series just needs to end.
Yeah, I mean, or just make another one as good as the first, because the last one wasn't great. And then I have The Conjuring: Last Rites. It is the fourth film in the Conjuring franchise. Conjuring films are very good in my personal opinion. First one is good. Second one is even better. Excuse me. And scared the living tar out of me. Third one was okay. Bit more of a murder mystery style movie, but still very, very enjoyable. And then I have a musician biopic. Now, I can never go wrong with the musician biopics that I've seen throughout my life. This one is called Michael. And Michael is a biopic about Michael Jackson. And what's cool about this one is that who is playing Michael Jackson is his nephew,
Jafar Jackson.
Jafar Jackson, which I think is super genius. And so that alone will make me want to go see that. Then I have Tron Ares, the third installment of Tron Legacy of the Tron series. Tron Legacy came out when we were like 10.
Yeah.
And so that was like 2009, 2010-ish.
Yeah, something like that.
But now, 14 years later, we have the third film with Jared Leto. So it'll be fun to jump back into that grid, or I guess you call it. I forgot what it was called. And then the last one I have is Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Mm-hmm.
First one was something. It was enjoyable for a film.
Yep. As a fan of the games, I really enjoyed it.
Respectable to the lore, I will say.
Yes.
I still think they should have stepped up the game and made it a rated R cut.
Agreed.
I still feel like there is a rated R cut out there somewhere.
Yep.
But you never know. But I will still go see Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
So will I.
Okay.
All right. So my honorable mentions, you talked about most of them, but there are a couple of mine that you didn't talk about.
Okay.
So Lilo and Stitch, you talked about that one already, and
I did.
Yep. A Minecraft movie.
Cheers.
The Naked Gun.
Oh yeah.
They
are doing another one, aren't they?
The reboot of the Naked Gun series, and Liam Neeson will be the lead.
That is true. I completely forgot about that one. Yeah.
So, yep. Classic.
Very, very classic.
Classic movie. So I'm excited to see what they do with a modern retelling of it.
Yeah.
Next, another horror movie, but a reboot. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Ooh, good choice. Yeah, I think
Yep.
some of the original cast is coming back. I know Sarah Michelle Gellar is.
Mm-hmm. So I think they're gonna do what they did with the most modern Scream movies and kind of have it be like a requel.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
And so I'm interested to see what they do there because I enjoyed the I Know What You Did Last Summer movies. Not as much as Scream or like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's up there.
Don't forget Halloween.
Halloween, of course.
The originals. The original Halloween.
The original and 2018
And 2018.
was good.
Yes.
But I Know What You Did Last Summer is up there for me.
Do you know what I did last summer?
I don't want to know what you did last summer, frankly.
Frankly, I don't even remember what I did last summer.
Last summer, I went on a very big trip.
Yes, you did.
Yep.
But we digress.
Next, I have 28 Years Later.
You know, I should have put that on there because that has a great cast.
That's exactly why I put it on there. I was flipping through the movies coming out next year, and I was like, 28 Years Later, what? I don't even care. Then I saw the cast list, and I was like, holy crap!
Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson. That alone will make me just want to put my butt in a seat.
Yeah. Agreed. Tron Ares.
Yep.
For the meme, and also because I I recently directed a play, Freaky Friday, the musical. Freakier Friday.
Yeah, I
is
knew that was
coming out.
coming. I should have seen that coming.
So I'm interested to see that. Number 6 on my honorable mentions, we're almost to the top of my honorable mentions, is Wolfman.
Really? That's on your honorable mentions?
That is on my honorable mentions. I think it looks really good, but there are some things I'm
just a little more excited for.
Even though I think it looks better than a lot, I think it looks like a better movie than a lot of what I have above it.
That's fair.
I think it looks like a better movie, but the other things I'm just more hyped for.
It's based on your hype level. I get it.
Based on my hype level and based on my fandom level, frankly.
Fair point.
So, a retelling of the classic Wolfman story in a modern time, kind of like what they did with The Invisible Man a couple years ago.
Same director as The Invisible Man.
Okay, so it's basically the same retelling of these Universal monsters.
Leigh Whannell, he knows what he's doing most of the time.
Next, I have Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning, not Dead Reckoning Part 2, The Final Reckoning.
Nope, they changed that.
They changed the name. Karate Kid Legends.
Here you go.
Next, one you didn't have on yours, I have Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh, God.
I
didn't even bother to see the first one. I knew it was going to be bad from the start.
So the first one was not a good movie, I'll say that. But did I have a good time? Yes. I had a great time.
Yeah, I'm glad, but you have one of the most iconic characters in it for just 10 minutes. Scorpion.
Yeah. I hope he gets more of a shine in the second film.
Please, because he's on the...
I know we're getting Johnny Cage in the second movie.
The man's on the fucking poster, and you have him in the movie for 10 minutes.
It was a pretty badass fight, though.
I bet it was.
I will say it was a pretty badass fight.
I'm sure it was. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I will not see it.
Yep. All right. Then I have How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay. Now we're back to...
And my final honorable mention, Mickey 17.
Wow. On your honorables.
Yes, it did not crack my top 10. It almost did. It was very close. Man. There are just other things I'm looking forward to more. And all. So, frankly, a lot of what I have coming up are sequels.
Okay.
Sequels to movies I love.
Okay.
So,
fair.
That is... So, hopefully that explains that. And Mickey 17's a new thing, which I'm still super hyped for, but I'm also really hyped for all these things that I'm like, yes, we're getting another movie of this.
Which leads us into today's main topic.
The top 10.
The top 10 most anticipated films of 2025. Alrighty, so.
You ready?
Crack the knuckles, take another drink. Let's do this thing.
All right.
Number 10 for me. This I have been looking forward to for quite a bit.
Went down
the wrong pipe. Ooh. Never want to get the whiskey down the wrong pipe, folks. It doesn't feel good.
No, it doesn't.
It really doesn't. So, my number 10, you may not have heard of this, but this one is called Sinners. So
I think I saw a trailer for it.
Yeah. So Sinners is a Ryan Coogler horror film that stars Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld. Yep. So just from that alone, and with the fact that Ryan Coogler's directing it, I will go see this.
Yeah,
I will also see anything that Haley Steinfeld is in.
She's beautiful.
She really is. Josh Allen, you're a lucky man, my friend. But yes, Sinners is my number 10. Very much looking forward to it.
All right, my number 10. Jurassic World Rebirth.
Fair.
All right, so I've enjoyed most of the Jurassic Park films. I will say the most recent Dominion was weak compared to most of them, but I still had a good time watching it. It
was also cool to see the original cast.
It was really cool to see the original cast back. It kind of surprises me they're doing another one because that one ended it at the perfect spot.
Yeah,
I feel.
Yeah,
but they're continuing the series with a very good cast, so I can't complain about the casting. We'll see how good it is when it actually comes out. But I personally am pretty hyped.
That's fair. That's fair. Welcome to Hollywood, everybody. All right, number 9. I'm like you. I put this on my list because of my hype level for it, and just because I'm a fan of the franchise. And that's Captain America: Brave New World. But the reason I have it so low is I'm kind of cautious about it.
Understandably so.
I'm very cautious about it. It's nothing against Anthony Mackie. I love Anthony Mackie. I think he's going to be a great Captain America. It's just the things I've heard, I just don't know. Every screening that they've tested has received poor reviews, and they've had to reshoot this thing like 6 times.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it doesn't bode well for the movie.
Yeah.
I'm still hyped to see it because Marvel usually has more hits than they do misses. Even recently, I think people have overblown the okay movies as being failures.
Yeah, that's fair.
Recently.
That's fair. But, with Feige back in his throne.
With Feige back on the throne, I think even though this movie was still technically a last regime movie, Feige's been trying his best to fix the problem.
In Feige we trust. I will always trust Mr. Feige.
In Feige we trust, and that's why I also have all the other Marvel movies above that one on this list as well, because those are the Feige's back movies. So
again, nothing against Anthony Mackie. Love him. Love Harrison Ford. Always will love Harrison Ford. Can't wait to see what he does as Red Hulk and as General Thunderbolt Ross, taking up William Hurt's legacy. So yeah, going into it cautiously, but I have some optimism in my mind for it.
All right. My number 9, The Black Phone 2.
Ooh.
I really like the first Black Phone. A lot.
It was very good.
It was a very good movie. And even though... And I'm interested to see what they do with a sequel. I am not sure if it'll be as good as the first one, because the first one was just so unique and different.
It kind of ended on a high note, didn't it?
It did. So I'm interested to see what they do to explain that all this stuff is happening again, or if it's completely different. The only thing that's the same is that there's a black phone.
Exactly.
Who knows? We haven't seen anything about it yet, so I'm really interested.
Could be a completely different story. You never know.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Number 8. This is where I have the Wolfman.
Okay.
I'm very excited for the Wolfman. The Wolfman being my favorite Universal monster. Just the trailer alone looks very intense. And after seeing The Invisible Man with the same director as Wolfman, Leigh Whannell, if he's going to continue going down this path of Universal monsters, I'm all for it. Invisible Man was great. I'm ready for Wolfman. I really am.
My number 8 is Now You See Me 3.
I thought about putting this on here.
I really like the Now You See Me movies a lot. I think it's one of my favorite things that Jesse Eisenberg's in.
Fair.
I absolutely love Jesse Eisenberg in these films. He really, in my opinion, is the highlight of these movies. Jesse Eisenberg's fantastic in them.
I still think his best movie is The Social Network.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
But he is very good in these films.
So, and I like the magic thing behind it. It's a really cool way. You're robbing people using magic. Like, that's sick. That's really cool. It's a heist movie with magic.
Exactly. Excuse me. Whew. Whiskey's getting to me. All right. Were we at number 7?
Number 7.
Number 7 is another MCU film, and that is Thunderbolts. Specifically Thunderbolts Asterisk. Yeah, I don't know why they have an asterisk at there, but Feige did say that will be revealed when the movie comes out.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But Thunderbolts. I'm super stoked for this. This is basically the Suicide Squad of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You have Florence Pugh coming back. You have Sebastian Stan, Bucky. You have David Harbour. You have What's his name? From Falcon and Winter Soldier. Wyatt Russell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You have
he's-
U.S. Agent.
You have
Yep.
U.S. Agent in there. This is literally the Suicide Squad of the MCU. And, yeah, who wouldn't be excited
And
for
I
this
mean,
thing?
you got Ghost, you got Taskmaster.
There's a lot more you got in
Yeah,
this
like
thing.
you have a good amount of people.
It's Thunderbolts, man. I'm pretty sure every Marvel fan has
and
been
I'm
waiting for
interested
this.
to see what they do with Sentry.
Very much so, yes. I think every
The
Marvel...
Superman of Marvel.
I think every Marvel fan has been waiting for Thunderbolts for quite a while, and now that we're finally getting it this year, is going to be either a good wish come true or a disappointing nightmare. But I'm optimistic about this one because, again, this is Feige back at the helm.
Yep.
So we'll go into Thunderbolts with some positivity.
Yeah. My number 7. Now, this is where I have FNAF 2.
Okay.
I feel like I enjoyed the first one a lot more than you did.
I think you
probably.
did. Yeah. I watched it and I was like, I respect it by, making it mostly based off the lore, but I still
I mean, you got to do your own thing with the
You
movie.
do.
You can't have it exactly.
that's true. You do. But I still think they could have upped their game a little bit.
Oh, the thing I was most disappointed by, frankly, was the amount of violence. And here's the thing. Violence does not make a good or bad movie.
No, it does not. But when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's and the story lore that it has behind this,
Yeah, that's true. Which they're still going with a very dark and disturbing lore. Like yeah. And I think there's no better person for you to get to play William Afton in right now than Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard. I love
He's
Matthew
fantastic.
Lillard. And I love
and
Matthew Lillard.
I love Josh Hutcherson as Mike. He was great as Mike.
It is good to see Josh Hutcherson back in Hollywood, I will say. I will say.
And I'm interested. And I'll say, even though the movie was not as violent as I would have wanted it to be, I am intrigued with where they're going to go with it.
I am too.
Because I think the story as a whole was good.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Yeah.
So
It's intriguing.
Yeah.
It's the way they're going with it. It's going to be okay. It's going to be cool to watch.
oh yeah, for sure.
So
And also how all of the animatronics were actually made by the Jim Henson Company.
I
and
applaud
all
the
of
Jim
that.
Henson Company for that because they looked spot on.
They looked
They really,
perfect.
really did.
And I'm excited to see what the new ones look like. And it looks like they're going with the toy animatronics this time.
a lot of people thought that poster looked like an in-game capture of Freddy. It's not. That's the real
No,
animatronic.
that's the animatronic.
That's how accurate they're doing this shit. It's really, really good.
But
Okay.
yeah, that's my number 7.
My number 6. This is where I have the Black Phone 2. Like you, I did very much enjoy the Black Phone. I thought Ethan Hawke was a great horror villain. I thought the kids in the movie were great child actors. You usually
They did a
don't-
good job.
You usually don't see that these days with child acting, but at the time with Mason Thames, very, very good.
Yeah, he did a good job in it.
Very, very good. And we did not have another Sinister 2 situation where there was only one good child actor and the rest were just there and and pulled Attack of the Clones because someone erased it from the archive memory. Yeah, that's what you call bad child
Master
acting.
Skywalker.
Master
There are
Skywalker.
too many of them. What are we going to do?
Oh, the prequel memes. You gotta love them. But yeah, Black Phone 2, very much looking forward to it. Very great horror story. Very much looking forward to going back into that lore.
All right, my number 6 is Captain America: Brave New World.
Okay.
So, I do agree with you. There are some very concerning things in the media about this movie. But I'm going to choose to err on the side of being more optimistic than pessimistic.
Yeah.
Now, has Marvel released some stinkers? Yes, they have. But have they...
She-Hulk.
I'm not talking about the shows. I'm talking just about the movies.
Fair enough. Marvels.
Yep. But the last movie they made was a big W. Deadpool and Wolverine was a big W.
I think that was my number 2 or 3 for 2024.
I think that ended up being my 3 or 4.
Yeah, no, that was
It was very good.
a redeeming film to the MCU. Thank you,
Oh,
Sean Levy,
yes.
Kevin Feige, the geniuses, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Mm-hmm. I mean, my God, incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, Captain America Brave New World, I'm going to err on the side of being more optimistic than pessimistic. Of course, we'll never know until it actually comes out. They could just be pulling our leg on all this marketing stuff, you know? You never know.
Indeed, you never know.
But I am choosing to err on the side of being more optimistic about it. Now, it could be terrible. It could be terrible, just like any other movie we've listed here. Even these movies that we think are going to be surefire good, they could be awful.
They could be bad.
They could be bad. You never know.
Yep.
So,
But this is why we call it the most anticipated. What we are most excited to see.
Yeah.
Whether they are good or utter shit.
that is true.
You never know until you see it.
But yeah, no. Captain America Brave New World, I'm erring on the side of cautiously optimistic for this film. So,
well, folks, we have reached the top 5.
yes.
We have reached the halfway mark. The big boys, the top 5.
Yeah.
What are we looking forward to the most? And I'm pretty sure these 5 we know are going to be good. So
I'm pretty confident.
yeah. But so we'll go ahead with number 5. And my number 5 is very interesting because I love the woman who is in this film.
Okay.
Now, my number 5 is, and this is how it is titled as of what I looked up on Google or Wikipedia, From the World of John Wick, Ballerina.
All right. So I was going to put Ballerina on my honorable mentions, but I didn't because I hadn't yet seen the most recent John Wick movie. I need to see the most recent one first.
Yeah, Ballerina. It's a John Wick spinoff. It has Ana de Armas. It's an action movie.
She's very pretty.
I mean, what else can you tell me? I'm there. I mean, come on. I'm there. Get me to that theater and I will see Ana de Armas kick some ass. All right? Anything to see her kick some ass. And with Keanu, I think, did say he was going to have a small part in this film. Because it is a John Wick.
He was in the trailer.
He was in the trailer, yes. It is a part of the John Wick world. So,
yep.
What more can you say?
So my number 5 is one you've already talked about, Thunderbolts.
Okay, fair.
It again, whatever you said about it, it's the Marvel Suicide Squad.
It really is.
It's the Marvel Suicide Squad, and from the trailer that dropped pretty recently, I think the group dynamic looks great.
Oh, yeah.
I think that they all play off each other very well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to see how it goes
Very much
with
so.
this film.
Very much
But
so.
also, you've talked about this one already quite a bit, so
Yes, I have.
we can go on to 4.
Just please make it better than Studio Squad. That's all we ask.
Hey, if it's on par with The Suicide Squad, we'll be good.
If it is on par with James Gunn's Suicide Squad, yes.
Yes.
That will be fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. Number 4. You mentioned this film on your honorable mention list, which I was very, very surprised.
The Wolfman. No, you just.
I already said Wolfman. No,
Okay.
this is where I have Mickey 17.
Mm-hmm.
I am very, very intrigued for this one.
I'm very intrigued by it as well.
With incredible direction from Bong Joon-ho, and starring Robert Pattinson as multiple characters. Kind of gives me a.
It's not really multiple characters. It's multiple Mickeys.
It's multiple Mickeys.
It's the same guy.
It is the same guy. We'll say that. But yeah, just from seeing the trailer, it looks funny. It looks emotional. It looks dramatic. And I think Robert Pattinson is going to do a great job. And I have no doubt with the direction of Bong Joon-ho. I mean, he won Best Director and Best Picture for Pete's sake in the Oscars that year. So
Yeah.
with Parasite. So yeah, I'm always down for a good space thriller too. So Mickey 17, I'm looking very forward to.
All right, my number 4, Avatar: Fire and Ash. The Way of Water was a masterclass in filmmaking.
Both of them were.
And the first one was amazing,
Both Avatar films were a masterclass.
They were both masterclasses. And this one and Way of Water were filmed back to back.
Yeah.
They were filmed back to back. They were. And it's James Cameron.
It is James Cameron.
It is James Cameron. Who doesn't love James Cameron? If you're a film buff, at least, who doesn't love James Cameron?
Titanic.
Like, yeah. He's iconic. He almost did Spider-Man.
Almost. But I love what we got.
I also love what we got. But Avatar Fire and Ash, I'm really looking forward to it. With where we went with the first one and Way of Water, if the effects keep improving the way they've improved just from the first movie to the second movie. Granted, the first movie to the second movie were more than a decade apart, but
yeah, that's true.
But
the technology is going to keep getting better, man.
The technology is just going to keep getting better, and it's just going to keep looking better. And I'm interested to see what the fire people look like. We've seen the tree people, we've seen the water people. Now I'm ready to see the fire people. What are we going to get next? Wind?
Is there? Are we going Last Airbender here?
Avatar? Avatar? Will Aang show up in the final film?
I'm not funny. Cheers.
But no, in all seriousness, the Avatar movies are masterclasses in filmmaking, and I can't wait to see the next chapter in the franchise. In my opinion, just these first two movies, it is probably one of the best franchises that is ongoing right now.
It is. I mean, it's the highest grossing film in the world for a reason.
Yep.
So, the first one, at least.
The first one, highest grossing film of all time. The second one almost got there, too. Like, what the heck? Like,
there you go. They're that good of films. And that's why I have Avatar Fire and Ash as my number 3. Yeah, I very much enjoy the Avatar films. Now, to be frank, the second time I ever watched the first Avatar was when Way of Water came out. I legitimately watched that first one as much as I could before I had to go to my screening of Way of Water. Mm-hmm. And I forgot how good the first one was. Mm-hmm. But I chose to see Way of Water the right way, which was IMAX 3D.
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
It's the only way you can see Avatar.
I agree, because that's how I saw Way of Water,
it's
too.
It's the only way you can see those films, and they're incredible. The way they're shot, the way they are made, the effects, the casting, it's incredible. Avatar is literally one of the best film franchises I've ever seen. And I'm excited for Fire and Ash. I really am. I know they planned like 5. I know there's a 4 and 5 coming after that, but even more of a reason to make me more excited for the Avatar franchise.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. My number 3 is the Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Yeah.
I love the Fantastic Four. They are some of my favorite characters in Marvel Comics. I love the first Fantastic Four movie that came out in 2005.
He's talking about the one with Jessica Alba and Captain America.
The first one that came out in 2005. Rise of the Silver Surfer wasn't great, but I have a good time with it. I enjoy it.
And then we won't even talk about we won't even talk about the one that came out in 2015.
Does Fant Four Stick exist?
I'm sorry, what is that?
You're right. What did I just say?
Something that came out of your mind that was gibberish.
Yep, probably. But in all seriousness, I love the cast for this new iteration of the Fantastic Four. You've got Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. You've got Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. And hell, even though we're not even going to see him, but they've got a really good dude as the Thing. He was in The Bear, I think.
Yep. That is going to be, I have to look up his name, Ebon Moss-Bachrach.
Yep.
That is Ben Grimm, the Thing.
Yep. And And not to mention, we're probably getting Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom
we are.
somewhere
They've
in
already
this film.
They've already said he's going to have like 15 to 20 minutes of screen time in this film.
We're getting Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom in this film, which confirms that he is not the Doctor Doom of 616.
No, he is not.
Because they are in a different universe.
This is a different universe Fantastic Four. Yeah.
It's a different universe Fantastic Four, which obviously after Secret Wars will probably be melded into the 616.
Most likely, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I'm really excited. I like that they're going back to the 60s. This movie takes place in the 60s.
A futuristic 60s.
Like a utopian
60s, yes.
Like what people thought in the 60s the future would look like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which
makes sense in a Fantastic Four film.
It
going
makes
back
sense.
to the original way it was written.
And especially makes sense that it's not in the main MCU, because that's not what it looked like in that universe.
We still technically do not know who the main Fantastic Four of the MCU is.
I still think it's going to be them.
It will probably be them.
They're going to cross over after Secret Wars.
It will probably be them.
If you don't know Secret Wars, after Battle World happens,
everything
comes together and forms one universe.
Exactly.
Or they take parts of each universe and form one cohesive universe.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, let's keep talking about it. Number 2, the Fantastic Four, First Steps.
All right.
Yeah, like you, I grew up on the first Fantastic Four film with Jessica Alba, Chris Evans. I thought that one was really, really good. I know a lot of people don't like it. I personally like it because of just because of the nostalgia aspect. I grew up with it. Mm-hmm. I personally do not hate the cast of the film. I don't love everybody who's in it. I thought, while Jessica Alba might not have been my first choice as Sue Storm, I thought she did fine for what she was given.
Yep.
But and then Rise of the Silver Surfer wasn't better, wasn't really great. It was a cheesy as hell movie, hence its PG rating. But it was still enjoyable to watch because, you know, the Fantastic Four, even written as a Marvel comic book, it's not taken too seriously. You know what I mean? Fantastic Four is one of those where you want to have fun reading it and you want to have fun watching it at the same time. And I'm pretty sure that's every Fantastic Four film that has come out since then. So, Fantastic Four First Steps, I am very, very excited for. Never in my entire mind would I have thought of Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards.
But I'm glad somebody did.
I'm impressed. I'm intrigued. And I had the same reaction when he was announced as Joel in The Last of Us TV show.
I agree.
He was great.
I think he's great casting
he was great.
for those parts.
So, and I'm just a Pedro Pascal fan. So, as Reed Richards, sure, why not? Let's give it a shot. Vanessa Kirby, great choice as Sue Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Quinn, very good choice as Johnny Storm.
Yep. The producers of this movie freaking saw Stranger Things season 4 and were like, yeah, that's Johnny Storm.
That's Johnny Storm.
Let's get him.
I mean, why not? It's a great choice. And then Ebon Moss-Bachrach, I mean, great in The Bear. And as Ben Grimm / The Thing. Yeah. And what I really like about this is they're going back to when they made the Fantastic Four in 2005 and using practical effects as for The Thing.
Yes.
He is not going to be CGI.
He's not CGI.
He is going to be a practical effect character, which is, I think, tremendous. One interesting thing I also do like about this is that the Silver Surfer is going to be in this movie, but it's not the Silver Surfer we know of Nolan Rad. It is the female version of the Silver Surfer. She has a different name, her name being Shala Ball. Now, a lot of people didn't like this, but I don't think a lot of people realize that there was a female Silver Surfer in the comics.
Yes.
Named Shala Ball.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like it was just people's ignorance of not knowing the comics that made them upset with that.
We would like to see the original Silver Surfer in the movie, of course. But, this is an alternate universe. This is an alternate world. This is an alternate Fantastic Four. So it could be cool to see. And the fact that Galactus will actually be in this film as an actual, not a cloud.
He's not a cloud.
He's not a cloud this time. He is Galactus we know from the comic books. And then, of course, you said Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. Yeah, so Fantastic Four first steps, I'm very, very excited for. It's that high up with the great cast and just with my love for the original story. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Coming to us, I think, pretty earlier in the year, isn't it?
May?
Around May, probably, yeah.
I think it's around May.
Around the first half of the year.
Yep.
We're getting it pretty soon.
All right. My number 2 is one you talked about in your honorable mentions. Michael
Jackson.
So, as with you, I am also a huge fan of the recent musical biopics that have been coming out. I don't think there have been very many misses on those yet.
It really hasn't.
I haven't seen A Complete Unknown yet.
Yeah, I'm planning to see that
but
at the end of...
from everything I've heard is that it's fantastic.
But look at the past. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Fantastic.
Rocket Man.
Walk the Line.
Mm-hmm. What else is there? Elvis.
Yep. All of those have been fantastic films.
Bob Marley.
Oh, Bob Marley. Yes. That was in my top 3 of 2024.
It was a good film. It was a very good film.
So Michael is up there for me at number 2. And I am so excited to see Jafar Jackson become his uncle.
I think that's honestly a genius move by the casting people.
I think that was a genius move because not only does he look like Michael, if you've seen the photos, he sounds like him if you've ever heard his music.
It'll be a good tribute to his uncle. I think it really will be a really, really nice one to watch.
Yep. And also, Michael Jackson holds a very special place in my heart musically. He is my favorite solo artist of all time. Ever.
Respectable.
Yep.
Much respect.
He was the first, old school classic music I ever got into was Michael Jackson. My dad had a Michael Jackson CD, and I listened to that all the time when I was a kid. And Michael Jackson became one of my favorite artists of all time. He's my favorite solo artist of all time. When you throw bands in there, he kind of gets a little lower on the list. But solo artists, I think he is the greatest entertainer of all time.
Respectable.
Yeah.
Respectable.
And I am so interested to see how they tell his story.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite, as a side note, one of my favorite albums is Thriller.
It's such a good album.
It's one of Michael Jackson's greatest albums ever made.
Oh, yeah.
It truly is. All right. So...
I think we both have the same number 1.
If viewers at home on YouTube and listeners on Spotify have paid attention... one
of my friends is going to be so mad at me for this.
Yeah. If you've been paying attention and have really done your research, there's one film that Aslan and I have not talked about yet that is coming out this year, and that is both our number 1s. James Gunn, where are you at?
Superman.
I mean, come on, man.
It looks amazing.
This is rest in peace to rest in some pieces to the DCEU.
Rest in pieces.
Yeah, exactly. I will say rest in their own.
The Flash really dug that grade so far.
Yeah, but I mean, it's James Gunn, man.
It's James Gunn.
James Gunn knows what he's doing. He did.
Sorry, Simon.
Yeah. Sorry, Simon. But anyway, James Gunn. I mean, he did Guardians of the Galaxy. Fantastic films. Did The Suicide Squad. Fantastic film. I mean, I trust the man. I mean, and the fact
Peacemaker was fantastic.
Peacemaker's very good. The fact that he's the head of DC Studios now for the films.
He's the Feige.
He's the Feige of the DC universe.
In Gunn we trust.
In Gunn, we trust.
In Feige we trust. In Gunn we trust.
The man, I think, is genius when it comes to comic book films. Superman is, I mean...
He's the most iconic superhero of all time.
And he chose a great person to play him.
David Corenswet looks great.
He does. And I love the fact, I love his suit. I know that a lot of people weren't thrilled with the Kingdom Come look, but...
And a lot of people weren't thrilled with the trunks being on the suit again, but I was like, come on,
it's
give
a
it a little bit of camp. I love it.
It's a classic. It's Superman. But, yeah, it's Superman, man. I mean, it's gonna be... It's gonna be really good to watch and go back to seeing a new Superman film. Henry Cavill was amazing as Superman.
I agree.
Really was.
And what happened to him was not okay.
No, yeah.
And here's the thing, that's not Gunn's fault.
It is not.
That's The Rock's fault.
That is The Rock.
For making him believe that he was able to be back, because The Rock wanted to take over the DCU.
Yeah, James Gunn, you saved us, man.
You saved us from The Rock.
Yeah, it's I'm ready for this. Henry Cavill, he was a great Superman, Clark Kent. I enjoyed Man of Steel. I enjoyed the movies that he was in as Superman. I thought he was a fantastic
Justice League,
Superman.
I can leave that.
Justice League, I can leave out that. Yeah.
But Justice League.
But Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes.
That's a masterclass right there.
And just people think that because James Gunn did things like Guardians and the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, that he's going to not take Superman seriously and make him all jokey. No, I do not believe that. No. I believe he's going to retain the feeling of what Superman should feel like.
Exactly. And you have a great supporting character list and cast list as this. You have Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner.
Yep. Even though I would have rathered seen him as Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
I would have rathered seen him as Hal Jordan.
But they do have a Hal Jordan.
They do have a Hal Jordan.
They do have a Hal Jordan.
He looks pretty all right.
Yep.
So
Isabella Merced as Hot Girl.
Yep. She is also pretty hot. So yeah.
Rachel Brosnan, Lois Lane.
Also pretty hot.
Yes. But you have a great character. You have a great list of side characters.
You have great actors with great characters.
Metamorpho.
Yep.
His partner. Not Metamorpho's partner, but
no, I know. Metamorpho. It's literally the guy who played Zaz in Gotham.
In Gotham.
And the guy from Barry.
And Barry, yeah. I love it. Mr. Terrific is in it.
Yeah.
Mr. Terrific. That was who I was looking for. But I think in all opinion, and Crypto.
Crypto is going to be in it. And he's also going to be in Supergirl.
And he will be in Supergirl.
So I'm also interested to see if Supergirl makes a little pop-up in here.
I think so. We also forgot one important person. Nicholas Hoult.
As Lex Luthor. That's a great... That's great cast.
A very good choice. This is a good cast.
Now, it breaks my heart a little bit that he didn't cast his best friend.
Yeah.
Or one of his really good friends in Michael Rosenbaum to come back, because Michael Rosenbaum is my favorite Lex Luthor of all time.
Yeah, Michael, we love you, man.
We love you, Michael.
We love you so much.
See you soon.
Yes. But yeah, great cast. I think David Corenswet's going to kill it. I think everybody who they have casted in here, all the characters that are going to be in it, they have said it is very much going to be still a Superman story. Even though these characters are in the movie, it is still very much going to be...
Yeah, it's not like they're going to have a ton of screen time or anything.
But again, in Gunn we trust, it is still going to be a Superman film.
And we also have some people from the Creature Commandos coming in, like Rick Flag Sr. will be in the film.
Played by Frank Grillo.
The guy who's actually voicing him. He's bringing the crossover from...
James Gunn's a genius.
So good. And from what I've heard, I haven't watched what's out of Creature Commandos yet, but from what I've heard,
It's very good.
it's good.
Very good. Very, very good. All right, guys. That is our top 5. You heard us gush about Superman. You heard us gush about the Fantastic Four. You heard us gush about Avatar. So on and so forth. You can repeat this whole thing and rewatch or re-listen to this.
Yeah.
But that is the top 5 most anticipated lists, the most anticipated movies of 2025 for the both of us.
All right. And that's the premiere of our new season of The Nerds at the Square Table. I'm Aslan.
I'm Dylan.
And we'll see you next time.
We will see you next time.